Some of you didn't know John Udes. John Udes was actually one of the founders of Greystone, and it was his vision to have this conference. So we recognize John, and we recognize an innovative individual every year who has some of those same qualities that John had. And John would laugh if he was here today at the growth of this internet conference, at all of the things that have gone on in our industry, at the way that healthcare has really evolved. And I think his vision for all of us was that we were going to take marketing to the next level. That marketing was kind of seen as a necessary evil perhaps in the old days and maybe not all that important. And John's vision for us was that healthcare marketing was so much more important and bigger than that, and that technology was going to be the tool to take us to that next level. So the John Udes Vision and Excellence Award is presented to individuals who embody the same ideals that John did for excellence, believing in and acting upon the idea that excellence could only be obtained if you cared more than others thought was wise, if you risked more than others thought was safe, if you dreamt more than others thought was practical, and if you expected more than others thought was possible. And we look for candidates as we start to think about the John Udes Award with lasting and significant contributions to healthcare, who exceed the expectations for someone in the candidate's position, who have attributes that include exuding excellence, being innovative, visionary, trailblazing, and all of those fantastic adjectives that go along with it. Someone who's influential both on inside their organization and also outside their organization as well. And the candidate who really has a willingness to share his or her expertise with others in the industry. So to present this year's John Udes Vision and Excellence Award, I want to introduce John's wife, JAE Udes. Let's give her a hand.
Wow, thanks, Mike. It gives me just really great pride to be at the 20th annual. I mean, I just cannot believe it. 20 years ago, it just doesn't seem possible. About 1994, we were driving in Atlanta, and John said, he actually yelled, "Look at that, look at that." And of course, I didn't see anything going on whatsoever, and he said, "Look at that van, it has a .com URL on it. That guy is marketing his company on the internet." He said, "Where are hospitals? You know, we need to start thinking about how we can use the internet to market our services." So he said, "And if we have, I think we need to have a conference where we can learn from each other and share ideas and get to understand this concept, and as Mike said, take marketing to the next level." And he said, "The conference has to be in Vegas, right? Because that's the only place where a technology conference and healthcare's got to get on into the action in Vegas." So, and then he said, "We need to get a great keynote speaker." And about that time, he had finished reading a book called Being Digital by Negroponte from MIT. And he was so impressed with his technology, his thoughts on technology and the future. So, you know, he said, "I think I ought to book this guy." And we're all going, "Yeah, right. You're really going to get this author and well-known guy to come speak at our little Greystone conference in Vegas." So he booked Bally's in Vegas. He got Negroponte to say yes to keynote. We probably had less than 100 people. I would say probably, close to 70 at the most. We collated 3-ring binders in our hotel room for all of your handouts. We even had our parents here going around the bed collating the manuals. And we had very few sponsors, because who's going to sponsor us? I mean, nobody quite knows what this is all about and where it's going. And you should have seen the booths that we had on the exhibit hall. And that's kind of how it all got started in 1996. And my heartfelt thanks goes to the Greystone team and to all of you who have given your support for 20 years and keeps John's vision going forward. He would be really, really proud. He would also be laughing, as Mike said. But today I'm excited about presenting John's award. It's my pleasure and honor to present the 2016 John Udy's Vision and Excellence Award honoree, to Dave Feinberg. Dave is the Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer for New York Presbyterian Hospital. He is responsible for the development and implementation of marketing, advertising, physician referral, internet, and visitor information strategies for one of the nation's most comprehensive integrated academic healthcare system. Dave has over 30 years of consumer and healthcare marketing experience. Prior to joining NYP, Dave led the healthcare practice of the Seiden Group, an advertising and marketing firm, helping to develop strategies and programs for clients such as Novartis and Bayer. His other previous experience includes establishing consumer divisions for Ciba Geiger, Biosite, Procter & Gamble, and Clairol. One of the first challenges after joining NYP that Dave faced was the merging of two academic healthcare institutions, New York Hospital, Presbyterian Hospital. Can you imagine what a marketing challenge that was? First, finding a name that they could both agree upon, and then overall, how to brand this new organization and still retain the immense brand equity of both the highly regarded hospitals and the Ivy League schools of medicine. You know, John firmly believed that visionary leaders not only had great ideas, they must effectively communicate and implement those ideas. With strong leadership and an innovative approach, Dave brought fresh ideas to the table, and more importantly, he gained consensus by implementing them. Through Dave's vision, commitment, marketing skills, and perseverance, the merger was very successful, and New York Presbyterian is thriving. Dave envisioned how both traditional and digital marketing techniques could transform the way healthcare organizations interact with patients, consumers, physicians, and employees. He develops effective website strategies to engage audiences and build customer relationships. He was one of the very first in our industry to feature patient stories and testimonials, and it's called Amazing Things Are Happening Here. Patients share their stories in their own words, touching our hearts to all of those that listen to them. For example, you click on a photo of this young man, and he tells you that he was a rising boxing star who started to experience numbness in his legs. And then one morning he wakes up and he's completely paralyzed. He was rushed to NYP. Doctors found a large tumor surrounding his spine. They removed it and gave him a second chance at life. He went on to become the 2014 WBA middleweight champion of the world. Incredible and very touching stories. Amazing Things Are Happening Here became a powerful strategy that was emulated by many hospitals and medical centers throughout the country. If you get a chance, check it out, it's awesome. Dave continues to be a lifelong learner. Throughout his career, he's been an active member in many industry organizations, including the American Marketing Association. He is an engaging speaker and has given many professional presentations. Dave embodies so many of the same qualities of John. He is a visionary, an innovator, a change agent with a commitment to excellence. John never lost his compassion and belief that all of us could and should make healthcare better every day, and Dave is doing just that. Please join me in honoring this year's recipient of the John Udy's Vision and Excellence Award, Dave Feinberg.
I have no idea who she was talking about. It's incredible. Well, good afternoon. It's an absolute thrill to be here to accept this award, honoring a true pioneer of our industry, John Udes. And this is absolutely about John. So let's start with me. I promise we'll get to John. So look, you've seen it all, right? You've seen the time when the very nervous awardee gets up. They start thanking everybody. They start thanking the academy and the manager and the publicist and the manicurist. And there's a little light down here. I only have a few more minutes left, and it starts blinking, and the music comes on, and it's good night. And then before you know it, they've forgotten to thank the most important people. I'm not going to make that mistake. I know how I got here and who gets the first thanks, and it's my family. I'm so blessed to have them with me here today. First, my son, Mitch. Your brilliance, determination, and sheer goodness amaze me. You never do the wrong, easy thing. A moral compass that's built into your DNA. A lot like John. Wonderful. Next is Dana, who just got engaged. And her terrific fiancé, Wayne, is here as well. And if you see her, ask her to show her her ring, because it was my mother's. I know, I went for the cheap sigh, but had to do that. You have grown into such a smart, accomplished, beautiful woman. And your creativity, passion, and spirit inspire me every day. I cannot contain my pride. So where do all those qualities come from? My incredible wife of 31 years, Marla. My rock, my soul, my life, my world. There's nothing that you heard about in those accomplishments that I could have done without her. I love you beyond words. Okay, now I'm going to breathe. I had to get the emotional stuff out first. I'm going to take a sip of water, okay? And let's get back to John. Let me tell you a brief story that I think sums it all up. He and Kathy introduced me to John in 1998, not long after the founding of this conference. We were introduced by a dear colleague, Jose Nunez, who the hospital had hired and who had worked with them in the past a lot. I had been at the hospital less than a year, and frankly, I didn't know why I was meeting with these people. After all, I was the expert, right? I come from the for-profit world, and I'd done all this fancy stuff and what have you. Now, I had been there less than a year, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I still had some of this arrogance, and I was going, why am I meeting with these people? What could they teach me? What could a hospital marketing person teach me, the expert? Well, it took me about 5 minutes to realize how wrong I was, and how knowledgeable and innovative John and Kathy were. To put it mildly, they schooled me, and I quickly became a willing student. John's vision and perspective were extraordinary, hidden behind his easy, aw shucks, Jimmy Stewart kind of manner. He was one of those rare individuals who was brilliant, but didn't need to prove it. He had that unique ability to be the smartest guy in the room, while making you feel smarter as well. What a great teacher and inspiration. I learned so much from John. I think all of us who had the privilege of knowing him learned so much as well. And as you heard, you're learning from him today, whether you know it or not, because we are here at this conference, which he and Kathy and Mike and their colleagues founded 20 years ago, and we celebrate that anniversary today. So I hope that my acceptance of this award helps sustain his memory and inspires all of us to hold to the standards of excellence he stood for. To this day, I ask myself, what would John do? So let me leave you with a few thoughts about that. John would insist on integrity in everything we do, to tell the truth, no exaggeration, no hyperbole. John would be bold and innovative, willing to take risks, embrace what was new and good. John would never lose sight of why we are here, to support our institutions in their mission to help patients and their families get and stay healthy. While most of us do not provide direct care, there's no higher calling than better health. So ask yourself, will what I am doing advance that mission? And if not, why do it? Finally, John would inspire others, generously sharing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise. And you heard a lot about that just now. And after all, that's what this conference is all about, the one he founded. As I said, he was a wonderful teacher, so we should do the same and make sure the next generation is better than ours. Now, a few final thanks. To New York Presbyterian leadership, who give me a great product to sell and the support to do it. And my colleagues, who I work with both inside and out of NYP. Many of them, past and present, are here today. It takes a team, and I have a great one. To the folks at Greystone, and especially Kathy Divis, and the prior recipients of this award, my esteemed colleagues. To be mentioned in the same breath as you is reward enough. And finally, to Joanne. It's such an honor to accept this award from you. I'm truly humbled, grateful, and blessed. So thank you all very much, and please enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you.